CJ, just really quick, you're a black person. Are you hunted at the university?
You know, I don't feel hunted at this university, but I guess the difference between me and some people here is that I don't choose to be a victim, Charlie, which I think is the biggest problem we have here today are people who wake up every single day looking for a reason to be oppressed.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nanifia Scholars. Today I'm back again with another video from Charlie Kirk. So today Charlie Kirk debates college student who asks him, should we judge people by their skin color? Okay, so guys, without further ado, let's get started.
Hi, my name is Erin. I'm a student here, and I'm an African American Studies major. But one thing I do agree with that you haven't said tonight is the school choice thing. I do agree that you should be able to go to a school that's outside of your zip code. I went to a great high school. That's exactly why I was able to come here. But my other question is that what are some examples of critical race theory? Because I know, like, another question that another girl came with, she said that she had to learn CRT in her sorority, and what I thought it was is that, you know, you should know how to interact with people of other races, because I went to a school where it's, you know, mostly Caucasian people, and I had to learn how to interact with other people. So is it something like that, or is it something deeper that we don't really know?
No, it's super simple. So let me just kind of ask you, I bet we agree. Do you support black-only dormitories?
Well, when I think of black-only dormitories, I believe that you're talking about, like, maybe HBCUs, because it's mostly black people.
No.
Where are these?
Western Washington University, public school in Washington, has black-only dormitories. Is that something you would support?
I mean, I would probably live in one, but I mean, that
Wait, so you don't want to live with white people?
I didn't say, I mean, I didn't say that. But, I mean, it's kind of hard. Sometimes, like, I have multiple, I mean, you know, I have a lot of white friends or whatever, but sometimes, I mean, it's hard to fit in here when you go here and you're a different color. I mean, it's not hard to.
What, would you support white-only dormitories?
It's some around here. Not many black people go here, so it technically is white only if you think about it.
No, it's not. No,
I mean,
let me ask you another question.
I don't think anybody here would. Oh, well, some people might, you know, support that. I mean, I never said I supported any only kind of thing.
That's why I'm asking, right? I think that, you know.
Do you support white only dormitories?
Absolutely not. I think it would be racist.
It's preposterous. I believe that.
And guess what? Black only dormitories are racist too.
I mean, I guess so. I might live in one if I could, but I can't, so.
Okay, well, let me ask you another question. At Columbia University, they have black-only graduation ceremonies. Would you support that?
I mean, is it just like, so are they not able to graduate with the white people? Is that why they can't?
Well, they have a separate ceremony just for black people.
Oh, I mean, I guess it's kind of like the separate ceremony when they don't want to go to graduation. They want to do it online. That's how I think of it. So
do you think segregation is evil and wrong?
I mean, black people weren't even able to join sororities here until 2012, so not the PhD one. So, you know, segregation here. George Wallace stood in front of the doors.
I just know that's not true, and like, there's.
Okay, when were PhD sororities and fraternities desegregated? 2013. Oh,
so you're trying to tell me that black people were not able to join a fraternity because of the color of their skin?
Do you remember George Wallace too? Segregation now, segregation, you know, for all, forever.
That's what
that happened as well.
That's what you're espousing when you say that black-only graduation ceremonies or dormitories.
Black-only graduation ceremonies are the least of our problems, least of yours. Do you think that you'll be able to go to a HBCU and have this same turnout and have these same people? Let me tell you.
I would hope so, but I mean.
So what would you say to them?
But here's the thing. I'm sorry, what?
What would you say to a room full of black people about?
You know what I would say? I'd say your skin color means nothing. You're made in the image of God.
You're right, but I completely agree. But I can tell you right now. I'm a Christian. I believe in God, but I have been going here for 3 years. I'm a junior. I have. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I have most definitely faced racism and prejudice, no matter what I believe in, and it's just really hard to sit up here and listen to people come up here and say, oh, I don't want to learn CRT. It's just making you able to interact with other types of people. I have no problem.
No, it's not. So let me just tell you. So at the Georgia public schools in Atlanta, they put black sixth graders in one classroom and white sixth graders in another classroom. Is that evil?
I've never seen. Can you show me a video of those kids?
Atlanta Segregation of Public Schools.
Well,
it was national news.
Not to interrupt, but I have family members that go to schools in these areas, and I also have people who live in redlining districts
Right, but I'm
where
just
they
asking,
can't go to good schools.
do you support segregation?
No, I do not.
Okay, we agree. Therefore,
Okay.
black-only dormitories and black-only graduation ceremonies and putting sixth graders in one classroom based on skin color or
I
the
don't have
other,
any
those are
source of these.
those are outgrowths of CRT.
So tell me, give me an example of what critical race theory is. I don't.
So
that was my first
I'll be
question.
happy to tell you. So critical race theory is an emphasis at saying skin color matters, that the color of someone's skin is important in judging the value of the human being.
I get that, but if you were teaching a class that is like that was talking about critical race theory, we were all sitting here.
Yes.
What would your lecture be? Like, tell me what are your points? Like, who is this author that you're
So
reading
Herbert
from? about critical-
Marcuse and
Okay.
an author by the last name of Spinoza wrote a book called One-Dimensional Man in the 1960s. Herbert Marcuse came from the Frankfurt School in the 1930s, and he started this at Columbia University. Coming out of a Marxist belief of power dynamics, he believed that power struggles were not just the rich versus the poor, but also black versus white. And he wanted to expand the kind of conversation to also engage racial dynamics. Inherent in critical race theory is a belief that people are not individuals, they're members of tribes. Inherent in the idea of critical race theory is that there is no free speech or reason or scientific inquiry. These are white supremacist, Eurocentric constructs that have been put into the Western world. And the one that I think that is most prevalent, CRT believes racism is everywhere, that racism is the norm, that racism is within our systems, it's in our language, it's in our customs, it's in our codes, it's in all these sorts of things. Now, that's a super quick version of what CRT is, so happy to dive into that more, but I think we don't have to overcomplicate it, which is, do you think people should be judged based on the color of their skin?
It's not that I think that, but it's that it's happening, and you cannot ignore that. I might not be treated the same as him as
So
he walks.
you're
through
right,
the door.
it is happening. Like at Coca-Cola, they say they need to train their employees to abolish whiteness. At AT&T, they said they would need to train their employees to get rid of whiteness. We have a supply and demand issue with racism in our country. We have an incredibly low supply of racism and incredible demand to try to fulfill it. So we've created racism where it doesn't exist and try to turn everyone into mini racists against each other, which has now manifested itself into a massive anti-white movement in our country, where I believe, more than anything else, we should care about character, not skin color. Do you agree with that?
It's not. I don't believe that you understand what I'm saying. It's not that I don't agree with not. I'm sorry. Oh, it's not that I don't agree with, what you just said, but you have to realize that black people are like white people are not being hunted after. Y'all can come here and live a great freaking life. Alabama is a safe haven. These PhD fraternities and sororities are a safe haven
You
for white
think you're
people.
being hunted?
Let me tell. Okay, y'all can laugh, but until you have walked as a black person on this campus, y'all truly don't understand. And I've gone to school with white people my whole life. I've gone.
So
but it's just.
I will end with this. You're not being hunted at the University of Alabama, and there is no boogeyman that's trying to get you.
It's not. You're making it seem.
You live in the least racist country in the history of the world.
You're in Alabama. You are literally in the place where it's not okay.
You mean the place that has given you more talking time than any other person here, and where they sit
you think
respectfully.
You're supposed to shut me down and be like, go sit down? I mean, of
Yes,
course I'm going to talk to you.
that would
What
have
you gonna respond to
happened
me?
100 years ago. You're right. 100 years ago, you might not have been allowed to come into this room,
So
which
I'm
would have
supposed
been
to bow to you because that's
which would have been evil.
happening?
No. Instead, we are here, we're creating a movement to say we never want to go back to the segregation that once existed in this country that is now being pushed by people in corporate America, in academia, and other places. We want to strive for a country that cares about character and the soul and the spirit of the individual, not on tribes, not on the melanin content in people's skin. And I will say this as compassionately as I can, is that you are not being hunted as a black person in America. There's not a single statistic that affirms that. There's not a single data point. Instead, the opposite is true. We are the least racist, most accepting, multiracial country in the history of the planet, and I pray one day you'll be thankful to live in that country. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
Everybody.
CJ, come here. really quick. I have a question. Come here. Go right there. Right there. So CJ, just really quick. You're a black person. Are you hunted at the university?
You know, I don't feel hunted at this university, but I guess the difference between me and some people here is that I don't choose to be a victim, Charlie, which I think is the biggest problem we have here today are people who wake up every single day looking for a reason to be oppressed, looking for a reason to cry and make an excuse about why they're not in a position to go win. I don't see the color of my skin as a disability. I see it as simply an accessory that I couldn't control. I've been black all my life. I've been black today, and I'm thriving here. I think that's a roll tide right there, right?
And so CJ, let me ask you, CRT, racist?
It's not just racist. It's the exact iteration of white supremacy, just in reverse.
What is it about conservatives and this whole racism thing? Like, you guys are always just saying that it's either not a thing or it's, you know, just not in any of the institutions or the police department. But it seems that over the past 18 years, we've had several race riots, and the biggest one being in 2020. So it's like, how are we still denying segregation in a city where we can clearly see what fucking neighborhoods are white, which ones are black, which ones are Latino, and we know how we got there. So it's like, what is it with conservatives and admitting that there's a problem and not addressing it?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl and Nephews Scholars. Today we are back again with another video from Charlie Kirk. So today Charlie Kirk rips apart fairly race beta heckler. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started.
So I've been watching this for some 20 odd years, you know, just. Oh, ma'am, you've been doing it forever. Welcome to the First Amendment. I fought for it.
Sir, can you just stay
this
focused on me?
Taxpayer-paid jacket.
Sir,
Thank you. I brought it overseas.
All right, sir, just ask me the question.
So what is it about conservatives and this whole racism thing? Like, you guys are always just saying that it's either not a thing or it's, you know, just not in any of the institutions or the police department. But it seems that over the past 18 years, we've had several race riots, and the biggest one being in 2020. So it's like, how are we still denying segregation in a city where we can clearly see what fucking neighborhoods are white, which ones are black, which ones are Latino, and we know how we got there. So it's like, what is it with conservatives and admitting that there's a problem and not addressing it? Because it seems like you guys want to be obsessed with, oh, the gender thing or the racism thing, and then you guys say, oh, it's not here, it's not a big problem. But why are millions of people rioting every couple years?
So let me ask you a question.
We can say that it's Democrats and shit, right?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So what do you think is a bigger problem facing America, single fatherhood or racism?
Racism, by far. That's how
Can you
we
say
got
that? Say that in the microphone.
Racism, by far, because racism gets people killed, not single fatherhood.
Well, no, a single motherhood. Let me be more specific. So single moms, their fathers leaving the home, you think is a bigger problem than racism?
No, sir. You're gonna have. I'm gonna repeat that one again for you. I think racism is a bigger problem than fathers being outside of the home. However, I do see fathers not being in the home is a problem.
Let's make sure we're defining our terms. How would you define racism then?
Racism is a system of oppression used by a certain group using prejudice, institutional power, and it's situated by the media, government, and all these other institutions.
Give me an example of one thing you as a black man cannot do that I as a white man can do in America.
Got you. Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, right, I went to a DeSantis rally. Got my ticket, all that good bullshit. Been to a million different, you know, rallies of a kind, whether, you know, I was a conservative at the time or whether I was a liberal, right? I know that as a black person, I am far more likely to be arrested for expressing my view, whether I am a conservative or a liberal. And I've done it on both sides. And, oh, yes, I was arrested.
You were probably being a jerk. That's why you were
actually,
arrested,
and
not
that's the
because
best
of the
part.
color
And that's
of
the
your
best
skin.
part, right? That's the best part. I wasn't even being a jerk. And the courts even found, our beloved courts.
Let me make sure I understand this. So you think the bigger problem than fathers not being in the home is a abstract conspiracy theory that you have that hecklers and jerks at political events are arrested because of the color of their skin? That's the best definition of institutional racism.
No, that's not my definition on racism. I did tell you what my definition was.
Give me an example of something a white man like me can do that a black man like you can't do. Because guess what? If I showed up at a DeSantis event and started heckling, I'd be kicked out and arrested.
No, you would not. No, in fact, I even have evidence.
You know how
I
know that's true?
You want to know? Do you want to know how I know it's true?
White suburban kids from Highland Park, and they're arrested a lot more. Actually, when you see the mugshots. Yeah.
Oh, so white kids are arrested a lot more. Could
Well,
that possibly be Could that possibly
talk
be?
into the mic?
And I'm just guessing here. Could it possibly be that white people are arrested more because you have a higher population, and therefore by proximity you are more like? Because it's math. It's basic math. I know we hate math. I know we hate it, but I passed
Well,
it.
okay.
Unlike y'all.
So let me ask you a question. How does racism contribute to black-on-black crime in Chicago? How is white people to blame for that?
Oh, actually, matter of fact, that's actually a whole other issue. So let's talk about. So you want to talk about intracommunal violence as it pertains to
So what
racism.
does the white man have to do with that?
So, and that's a great thing. I love the red herring that you threw in there.
No, it's-
yes,
it's-
because
it's a question.
hey, intracommunal violence is proximal, right? So when we have segregation and we got races sitting in one area and you got another race in another area. Now, we never ask white people, why is white on white crime so high with white people, and never, but instead we focus on black people.
Yeah, so out of the 530 murders in Chicago of the last year, how many were black-on-black crime?
Hey, I wasn't looking. But you know what I
Yeah,
do know?
well
But
over
you know,
420 of them were black-on-black
Sure,
gang-related
sure,
crimes.
sure.
How is that
Sure.
racism to blame for that?
Let's talk. So now, are we going to talk about over-policing?
I'm sorry, sir. You're kind of
Would you like to-
demonstrating. You can't answer the question.
Would you like to talk about? I mean, we can talk about it. We can.
Okay.
Are you ready to address it, though?
Well-
are you ready to address it? Are you
Yeah.
ready? Because we can talk about black-on-black crime, but we need to talk about it as it pertains. We need to. Okay, let's talk about it, sis. I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, hold on. So
I'm ready to
let
talk
me just
about it.
let me just
I'm ready
narrow
to
this
talk
down.
about it.
So let me just say this,
All right,
okay?
all right.
So
What's
if
up?
you were to rank the 100 biggest problems in America,
Yeah.
the fact that I know we're not a racist country is the best example you have. Is
Okay,
some
so you
abstract
know we're not a
story of you
racist
getting
country
kicked
based
out of
on
a
what?
DeSantis rally. If we were a racist country, you'd say, Charlie, I can't go in a convenience store. Charlie, I can't go into school. No, we actually live in such a amazingly
we're not-
decent
if we're not
country
racist-
that whoa.
Don't.
Let's not do that, okay?
All I did.
All right.
All I did was speak.
You're trying to pull it
Oh,
out of my
no.
Mostly peaceful, everybody. Mostly
I
peaceful,
wasn't.
okay?
I didn't lay hands on you. I didn't lay hands on
All
you. I
right.
got witnesses. I did not touch you. No.
All right.
I touched the mic.
We're going to wrap this one
Don't
up,
play.
but let me just
Anyway.
say this.
We got racism we got racism all over the U.S. We just had a race riot 3 years
Okay,
ago.
so let's
in
talk about-
2020.
wait, hold on.
And,
So-
oh my God! And then we had all 50 states plus 18 countries. But don't worry, Alex.
Wait, so
I'm
by
not
race
laying no
riots,
hands
you
on
mean
them.
you mean
I used to
mass
wear the
looting
uniform
of
too.
big
I know
screen
how it works.
TVs? Let me tell you, it is not an argument in your favor that we're a racist country because blacks decide to start burning down Wendy's and stealing stuff. That's called
Actually,
criminality.
it is because
and the
you're not
majority
even
of
you're not
black
even looking as
Americans
to why
found
it
the
happened.
looting
You're not
to
even
be
looking as to why it happened,
objectionable.
and that's cool. And that's cool. You know, we can definitely play, obtuse on the whole issue. Yeah, black people were burning it down. Why? Racism. Racism was a big issue, and we can pretend that it's not a big issue. But hey, if you don't want to, then that's just called being obtuse. And that's why I asked you. And that's why I asked you, why did you have such a big problem with talking about racism? You want
Well,
to claim that it's not there, and you can say
all right.
all you want.
So
but that still doesn't prove. That still
let me
does
conclude.
not.
If you
That
want to
still does
talk
not
about
account for why
racism
we
that
have
could be
race
proven,
riots. So
let me
I
give you
guess
some
so.
examples of racism that
guess.
could be proven. How about affirmative action at this college that discriminates against Asian students and white students? How about affirmative action hiring practices in the federal government? We are such a decent, non-racist country. The best example that he has is to show that he was mistreated. And if he acted like this at the DeSantis event, I can see why he was kicked out of the DeSantis event. Next question.
What do you think about this? This was kind of rough and funny, I don't know, sometimes I hate tense debates, and this one was like a tense one for me. What do you have to say about this? Let me ask this. Is America a race country? Please let me know, because people actually come here and I don't know, let me say, sometimes I feel their pain, And Candace and Charlie talk about this racism. They were like, America is not a racist country. But yet, people do come on this show and really pour out their frustration. And I get it, Sometimes, experiences are experiences, Your experiences might be different to some, because people actually comes to Charlie's stage like this and confirm that they are blacks, and yet they haven't, like they have never faced any kind of like racism in their entire life since they set foot in America, or since ever since they've been in America. But others still come to the stage and they say a whole lot of experiences, a little lot of stories, and you cannot blame them. That's their experiences. That's what they've been through. That's what did happen to them. So yeah, I always say your experience might not be my experience. So let me ask this, please: is America a racism country? Please, if you are black, let me know. And even if you are white, like everyone, like anyone, you guys are there. So let me know what you actually think about this. Because people actually rant that they barely get job in America. A military woman came that she can barely afford. She don't even have $1 because she is black. Some too comes and they always say they got arrested for demonstrating in public space. Some also come and they say a whole lot of things. People actually come and people say they always get rejected, and so many things happen there in the colleges. I mean, only black dormitories and others. And honestly, if all this is true, then indeed racism is it's a big deal that we need to talk about. People always feel bad talking about racism because I feel like it's a kind of uncomfortable topic to talk about, So people actually find it weird talking about it. So let me actually know that what do you truly think? Do you think America is a racist country, or do you have people that have gone through some experiences that you want to share in the comment section, or you think indeed you side with Charlie? And that question that Charlie always do ask: what can a black man do that white man can do? Or what can a white man do that black man can do? This question is for you. Please let me know what you thought about that question in the comment section. Have you ever had an experience as a black guy in America, or as a black woman in America? Have you had any experience, and what do you think? And please let me know, do you think it's true that blacks are, if you talk about the over policing, we all have topics, we all watch movies that policing in black communities are super bad. Because little thing, even if they stop you, the next thing they're showing you is their gun, on your forehead. And we all watch movies, we all see those things. We all see how blacks are being rejected to work, and we all seen in movies how how limited the things that black can actually do that whites can do. So if Charlie stands here and say America is like the least racist country, and he also says there is nothing that a black man cannot do that a white man can do, then I feel like it's kind of lies over here. Because if you watch movies, the kind of things that we see in the movies is like everything that these black Jews always come to this show and to talk about it. So let me actually know, because I don't want to base on experiences in movies to judge reality. So actually let me know what actually goes on, or what really happens in the reality, the realms of the spirit. So is America, once again, is America the least racism country, or America is not a racism country at all? Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have any add up, or any subtraction, any multiplication, or any division to add up or to spice up with this video, let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to see all your comments, and I'll be glad to see all your views and your points in the comment section. Let me know what you actually think about this video. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to click on the subscription button for more notifications. Thanks for watching.